Hello, bronies, ponies, and Pegasisters, and welcome to EquestriaTalk. I'm Indigo Wisp.
I'm Static Blitz.
And today we have another guest named...
I'm Frost Main. I'm Gorgo. Together we make up TaskForceHorse.
who have at least, I think I saw 500 subscribers on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have about 560 or so.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not bad. Better than what we're doing.
That's about 540 better than worse.
Yeah, we only have about 26 subscribers, so...
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. All right. First question for you is, the all important. How did you become a brony? Like, what brought you into it?
All right. I'll start off. It was about a year ago, and my friend messaged me on Facebook and said that he's got something I'll really enjoy. Starts linking me to this My Little Pony stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this? I told him it sucked. I told him I won't watch it. It's horrible. And when I stopped talking to him, I was like, all right, I really don't want to do my homework. Watched the first 2 episodes. Ended up staying up till 6 o'clock in the morning and watched the first 9 episodes. And I was really into it. I was a little scared that I was actually liking this show. I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? And figured out there's this community, and he came over to my house a couple weeks later. It was Thanksgiving break, and I was like, I've got something you might enjoy. And he just starts laughing at me. I mean, I always troll him, so that's what he expected. And
Yeah.
we got into it, watched the first episode. He says, what happens next?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you gotta watch it. And he's like, wow, that was actually really good. Let's keep watching it. We watched like the first 9 episodes that night, and here we are about a year later, running our YouTube channel, running around singing the theme song in town. So I mean, I guess it's come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen your montages. They're really good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. We put a lot of time into him. He's the editor.
Yeah.
He's the man behind everything that goes into that. He spends all the time on it. Obviously, we collaborate ideas together. But I mean, here's the man right here. He's the montage maker. He's just getting into video editing software and getting a lot better.
Right now, I'm working at school in a program called After Effects, so we should see a lot better stuff come out. I'm mainly uploading some tests right now for stuff that I'm doing in After Effects. Like you said, I do the video editing, and this guy promotes, so we wouldn't be anywhere without each other.
And as you know, After Effects is a program that Brony Dance Party uses. Tommy XE, a lot of the people that use they have really good animations and PMVs. They use After Effects. They're simple, but you can make some pretty good looking stuff with that program. So
Yeah.
we're coming up with some pretty cool stuff pretty soon, right?
Yeah. Up and coming PMV, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Brony Dance Party is able to make really amazing music videos with After Effects.
Yeah, especially with his limitations. I mean, he's in college, he's got a job, and that program's not easy to animate in, and he does a hell of a job. We hope to reach that level someday.
Have you seen his Awoken PMV?
Yeah,
Yes.
it came out today. It's
Yeah.
wonderfully done. I was surprised. I love the song, and animation's just as good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's his best one so far.
Oh yeah.
I think he's getting better with each one.
Yeah.
All right.
We are actually in the we're in the Smile project. Both of our OCs are in there.
Yeah, we
stand
got in
for
that
it.
early.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, one more thing, and then I'll pass it over to Static. One thing that stood out for me in the montage 3 was the part where you have Sarge from Red vs. Blue.
Yeah, we were
Yeah, that
laughing
was-
pretty hard doing that.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's his brainchild.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pass it over to Static Blitz for a question.
Hi. How long have you two been editing videos?
7 months.
Yeah.
Is when our first video came out, and I mean, he was just getting into it.
And I did what they called a simple PMV. which is basically where you just take clips from the show and just edit them in to go with the song. Kind of crappy, like there was a couple editing errors I did, but it was my first thing, so you got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Actually, that's kind of what I do. Like I made a PMV called Happy Times in Ponyville. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not.
We'll check it out after this.
Yeah, I used the instrumental to Hollywood Undead's Bullet.
I think I may have seen that.
I think I might have seen that. Now that I think about it.
All right. Questions are buried in my laptop. All right. So are you said you're cousins, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep, we're cousins. We live pretty close together, so it's pretty easy
same
to come
town.
over and make videos. I mean, I come here every day and we edit.
Also through Skype and different things. Like sometimes I'll upload just whips to YouTube. In fact, I think we have like 7 or 8 whips of Friendship is Montage 3 in our unlisted folder in YouTube.
There's actually unseen clips and things, but they can stay unlisted.
Yeah.
Now, are you two the only bronies in your family?
No, not exactly. We have a little cousin that we showed it to, and she loves it. So we talked to her about it and stuff.
We also have I have two little second cousins who I got. They're like 5 and 6, so I got them watching their show, and their dad does not like it, which is our cousin. So cousin's kids.
Yeah.
He's not happy about it, but they love it, and it's a good show. And when you have every episode on TiVo, makes it easy for them to watch.
Yeah, it makes it confusing for other people that come to hang out here, and they look at his TiVo and go, "Okay, you got Doctor Who and My Little Pony. What is this, dude?" Like, "Oh yeah, it's a great show. I want to see all my little, want to see all my little toys in here. Yeah."
I have about 15 figurines in my room so far.
I think I may have
We
beat
got 35.
I may have beat you by a few.
And our shirts, obviously. I mean,
Actually, I have 2. He brought his. I forgot mine.
I own a anime style of the main 6 and other ponies and a shirt.
that's awesome.
I actually recently have you either played Battlefield 3 at all?
Yeah, we own it. We play online a lot.
I did a parody. I used my Photoshop skills, and I did a parody of Battlefield 3. I did it to where it says Battle Pony down the side, and it actually has the picture of the guy walking. I can actually send you guys a link to that. If
Yeah,
you guys
we
want.
can send you that after this, and
that'd be cool.
check it out.
Yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. One thing about Battlefield, though, I can't stay in one match for too long because one match lasts like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, we did that the other night. We're like, all right, we're gonna go to bed, play about 15 more minutes. We get into this match, we got like 30,000 experience. We're like, all right, we gotta finish this.
Oh, actually, okay. What I wanted to do was I wanted to start a TaskForceHorse Brony server on Battlefield. I don't know if people would be interested in that or not, but I wanted to do it.
I'm sure if Brony saw that, they would join that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I think that's something. I think that's something you should shoot for.
Oh yeah, I know. I'd join it.
Yeah, we would both join it.
That's. So, have you guys talked about how you became bronies in any of your videos yet?
I posted one video on my main channel about how and why I became a brony,
Oh, cool.
Cool, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I think we will.
but this one hasn't yet.
No, yeah, I've been real busy with work and.
Yeah, he works pretty much every day.
Every day I'm working.
Would you want to share your story, or?
Is it too embarrassing?
No, I'll share it.
Here he is with Static Blitz Story of a Brony.
Well, I was going through a rough time in my life. My grandma just passed away. My uncle was pretty bad, and I was like ready to just quit. I was done, and I got onto Twitter and stuff and started talking to people, and I got onto it with a brony on there, and they say, hey, come and talk to us, and and we started talking about My Little Pony, and they said go check it out, and I'm watching it. And it kind of brought me out of my depression, and I've been happy ever since.
Yeah, I think a lot of Bronies have a similar story. I mean, both of us actually were going through some pretty crazy stuff. It brings you out of it. It's great.
I actually suffer from bipolar, and this has actually been an amazing way to, remain, in a happy state of mind and stuff. So it's actually a really good thing to keep you upbeat.
Yeah. I've made a lot of friends. I've met people just by wearing a shirt in public, and
we actually
hang out with now.
We actually went to a concert, and we've seen a couple Derpy shirts actually.
Yeah,
nice.
Got a bro off there. That was fun.
What concert was it? Like what band?
It was a Heaven Fest, which was like it's Colorado's largest Christian rock festival. So there's like 8 stages, and it's all day and all night, and they have like an after party with a rave and stuff. It's pretty big. There's like 40,000 people there.
There were some pretty big bands there this year. Last year we had Skillet, but they weren't able to make it this year. POD as well. Yeah, so it's a great festival.
I actually went to the after party in a Fluttershy shirt with my rave glove, which I have a rave glove here.
Yeah, I got one more question. Who was the one who made the Awaken Alive PMV?
That was me.
I watched that. That was actually very, very good for. Was it one of your first?
It was my third, actually.
That's the one. That one got on EQD.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I got an EQD about a month later.
We also one of our other prides is the what's it called?
Lyrics only.
The rock.
We one of our other favorite ones.
The Tunes of Friendship is what we call it, and we did it on Classic Rock. There's 23 PMVs, all in one, where you just take like 10 seconds of the rock song and put the show to it, and that one hit EQD.
Because that way, instead of trying to make the whole thing drag on, you could get the point, you could get the laugh, you could get whatever you want to try and get out of that feeling, and just get, so instead of taking like a whole song, you could just have the best part of it and be like, oh, that's how that relates, and that sits on its own.
And another big hit for musicians was our vocal onlys. What we do is we take the background music away from the song, so basically it's a cappella, so we'll have Winter wrap up, and it's just the voices.
Yeah.
And musicians love that because they can sample it. That's another thing that's gotten us a lot of subscribers, a lot of views. But mostly the montage. Our montages is what have got us here, so.
Well, your montages are amazing and funny.
Thank you.
I loved the hi-ho brony away thing.
Just insert cheesiest acting you can. Those are our other two cousins.
Actually, that scene was actually debatable. We were actually debating whether or not it would get hate in there, so we just decided to say, hey, let's go for it. That was one of those things you just dive into.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you gotta learn to laugh at yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's one thing that I wish more bronies would get sometimes is, it's all in fun. And if there's someone making fun of you, love the hater. I mean, it used to be so much more like that, and people are starting to forget that. If you just be like, oh, yeah, cool, that's funny, they'll hate you for it.
I had a guy walk up to me today, and he said, last couple days, he goes, G1 is better. And I'm like, oh, really? You think so? That's kind of cool. I've seen a few of those. And the guy's like, what? So it's kind of...
Have you seen bronies react to College Humor?
Actually, I haven't seen.
I have not seen that one yet.
But we've seen bronies react to teens react. We have seen that one.
And to Derby and to the finale, but I haven't seen the
react
College Humor one.
When oh, sorry, you were saying?
Although I actually thought it was funny. I mean, you have to admit it is kind of funny. Stereotypes are indeed, if it's not slanderous, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, some of them were saying, who were reacting to it, like some of them were thinking that maybe a brony made it who just really knows how to laugh at himself.
Yeah, I can
see that. I mean, I'm sure there's people like that, but I mean, it's very small minority. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not the majority.
Yeah,
but,
it's...
you gotta laugh at it.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Yeah. And It's not like we should be making fun of. If someone is like that, well, then embrace who they are. I mean, it's not like we can say you're fat and stupid. Well, that what does that make the person who's saying that ultimately? Yeah. Not to go all philosophical on you or anything, but.
You got a question?
Yeah, I can ask a question.
All right, here's Static Blitz.
So, which one of you two decided to form the group? Like, just decided to start editing video? Did you both do it, or did one of you just come up with the idea?
Well, what had happened is, when I became a brony, I didn't want people. I had a main channel, and I didn't want those people to see that I was watching pony videos. So I go and I'm like, I want to make a YouTube channel that I can watch pony videos on. Something that doesn't say, look at me, I'm a brony, but you saw, I chose TaskForceHorse because, I don't know, it was a good name.
Yeah.
And about 3 weeks later, I'm like, hey, I have this channel, we can both use it.
I'll take it over. And then what happened was, after a while, I'm like, well, we have this amazing name. I'm just gonna go shoot for it. I took about a semester of video editing at that time. So, and my mom had recently got me a editing software, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. And then after a while, all of the art and stuff you see on the banner and everything that goes on the sides, I did that using my Photoshop experience. And I'm like, TaskForceHorse, well, that sounds kind of military, so that's where the gun you see comes from. Kind of all that idea just kind of came together with the name.
Yeah. It's such a collaboration. It's like, I mean, we cannot survive as a YouTube channel without each other.
Yeah,
it's like we each have our things that we do to help each other out. It's like, I promote the channel, and I come up with ideas for videos. I made the vocal onlys, and then he edits everything, and we give each other ideas. We feed off of.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better. Like, two heads is better than one is definitely true in this sense.
Acoustic brony, that's two people, and I'm sure that they'd be nothing with just one of them.
And then there's Acoustic Mando Pony.
Oh, yeah, Mando. I love Mando.
But yeah, just like me and him too, we wouldn't be very good without each other either. And it's just one person interviewing a bunch of people.
Like if I don't know if you've seen our recent video, you can see it after this. We kind of mess around and stuff like we haven't done in other interviews before.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have fun.
Well, you can't be serious all the time.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not fun to be serious all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we like Pinkie Pie, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she's the best. I love the community.
Oh yeah.
I love this community so much. Everything that they've done is just so surprising. What other show gives you? This show has given so many people. I mean, look at the artists that have been signed. You got RGV, Young the Cats, and others that just because of ponies, they've gone out and created music and done things inspired by it, and now they're doing bigger things in their life.
Yeah,
and all the music that comes out, I mean, the Rolling Stones magazine reported on.
Yeah.
There's so much music, it is incredible. In a couple month period of time, when bronies first started coming out, there was 500,000 unique pony images uploaded to DeviantArt. That is enormous. That's bigger than, I mean, this fandom is wonderful.
Here's the point I made to a hater. I was explaining to them about the brony fandom, and I said that how many people go home and make user-generated content of South Park?
Right.
No one. How many people go home and make user-generated content of My Little Pony?
Everybody. Yeah.
That's really true. I mean, I used to think that Pokemon was the biggest growing fandom, but My Little Pony just seems like so much faster growing and so much bigger.
Yeah, and the Pokemon fandom may be bigger, and I'm sure it is. I guarantee you it is, but it's the effort that the bronies put in. It's the content that we have. I mean, everyone watches Pokemon, but who goes and makes stuff, And bronies just have this different feeling. It's like
a camaraderie between bronies.
Yeah. If I see someone with a pony shirt, it's like, oh man, I'm instant friends with you now.
I know how to. I know we have. It's an instant thing in common with another person.
I mean, like I've heard that at BronyCons that people will just welcome you with open arms.
What was that story about the guy who with the turkey leg?
Forest Rain. Do you guys know Forest Rain?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, his song "Great to Be Different." It's such a touching song.
Join the herd. Yeah.
Yeah. Also join the herd, which is kind of like a brony on the anthem
Yeah,
now.
so letter.
Anyway, at BronyCon, he had noticed that these letters were appearing to some of the booths. And he had his artist booth, and he leaves to go check out some of the other booths. When he came back, there was a small white letter on his booth, and it was sealed with a little, little sticker, just a little white envelope.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing this story.
Yeah, and all it says is, "It's great to be different. Love Derpy." And things like that is just like
The things that move
it's
the
so
world.
amazing. It's just something so simple, but it's like, you're different, and I love you for it. And no one, don't let people judge you about it. Be you. It's great to be you.
And he said that. Sorry.
I think we could all embrace ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he claimed that letter was probably his most prized possession that he took from BronyCon that year.
Yeah, I can see why something that moving.
That'd be amazing for me to take home. I'd love that.
Like did you guys go to or see Everfree Northwest?
No, we didn't get to go, and we haven't really watched any videos or anything. I've watched a lot of the BronyCon stuff, but
Well, there was this one moment at Everfree Northwest. They were having this auction, and this guy had this Derpy doll or figurine. It was signed by the original voice actor and a bunch of other voice actors and stuff. This guy buys it for $600, gives it back to the original owner.
oh my gosh, that's pretty special right there.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And apparently, after that, his Twitter just exploded with followers.
Yeah, I think I heard something, and I believe I'm following him now because of that.
Yeah, and that was just a moment that I couldn't. I made a video explaining that. That was just a moment I couldn't let go, just not talk about.
Did you go to Everfree Northwest?
I wish.
Yeah.
Have you been to any cons yet, or do you plan to?
We're hoping to go to a BronyCon next year.
Yeah, just anyone, even any kind of a small get together or something.
Yeah, we want to go to a Brony. We actually have a jar full of money to go to BronyCon.
Yeah, I have a jar, that's loaded with fives.
Buy all the merchandise, right?
But we wanted to try and get a BronyCon in Denver here because we're in the center of the country. So either we have to drive all the way to California, or we have to drive all the way to New York. Denver's a big city. Why not have one here? It's also one of the largest venues. They've some of the largest venues.
And cheap. We held a Comic Con here, and it was
The third biggest in history.
So, I think a BronyCon here in Denver would be wonderful.
Yeah.
What actually disappointed me is that I discovered that there was a BronyCon somewhat near us, a little bit after I discovered it.
Oh,
That sucks.
yeah. I found out this year's Comic-Con was this in Denver a week after.
Oh, man, that's always so disappointing when you find stuff out like that.
Sad face.
Yeah, definitely. Just sad face. Just
Extreme sad face.
All right. Here's another. I don't think I've even asked a question yet.
Yeah, you can ask it.
Do you want to ask?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask a question.
Okay. Those aren't the right questions. We kind of have questions from a bunch of different interviews. I went blank again.
We haven't asked this one.
How long have you been? I think we did.
No, a favorite. Not how long favorite.
Oh, what would you say is your all-time favorite video that you've made?
what do you say?
Actually, my favorite would probably have to be Montage 3, but I actually was going through our videos today, and I found one that I did a long time ago. I think one of my favorite ones, but not my most favorite, would have to be the short PMV I did to the ponies marching, United Equestrian Marine Corps. It doesn't really go along with the song, but it's just kind of quirky. But for my favorite, I'd probably have to say, Friendship is Montage 3.
My favorite would have to be, well, I really like Montage 3, but I also really like the Tunes of Friendship, our classic rock PMVs, because it's just, I really love classic rock, and people have left comments, they're like, this made me laugh, this made me cry, I just love that video, and I think other people do too. So.
We'll have to check out that video after we're done here.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not tonight because it's like 2:18 a.m., but maybe tomorrow. I mean, for sure tomorrow, but, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Whatever.
All right, you want to ask one?
Hogger,
They're down here.
you're hogging all the Hogger.
Hogger.
Hogging all the questions.
They fell.
They just fell into a neat pile next to you.
Yeah, Derpy flew by and it blew him on the ground.
Alright, questions. So many questions. Alright, what would you say is probably your favorite thing about the Brony community?
My favorite thing about the Brony community is just, well, first of all, the camaraderie, but second, the music. I love the music. I constantly listen to Brony music. I find new music every day, and I mean, there is gigs and gigs of music out there. There's so much good music. I mean, I found jazz, country, rock, everything. There's electro swing. Every genre of music is covered by this community, and you can just pick whatever you want to listen to.
I would probably have to say the music as well, just because, you know, I mean, sometimes Disturbed is a little too deep for you. Sometimes you just need to listen to some of that, I don't know, pony swing.
Yeah, and the fanfics are wonderful too.
Oh yeah,
I've been recently reading a lot of fanfics. My favorite has to be Upheaval Breaking Point. Forrest Rain narrates it, and it's
kind of a lesser known fic, but still one of the best.
It's great.
It's one of the longest too.
Yeah,
it's like 3 books.
Oh wow.
My favorite fanfic would probably have to be My Little Dashie.
I cried. I'm serious. I cried.
I like NLD, but
You're not alone. You're not alone. I bawled for like probably an hour.
I didn't quite cry, but it was pretty emotional.
If you listen to Mike the Microphone's reading of My Little Dashie, you will cry.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
That's actually how I read it.
Yeah. I actually what I do is I'm what they call a sign spinner. So I stand on a street normally in my Fluttershy t-shirt and I spin a sign. And since I have headphones and I have YouTube on my phone, I normally just listen to Mike's dramatic readings or someone's dramatic readings on there, and that's what I do when I hold the sign. So if you ever wonder when someone's out there holding the sign what they're listening to, they're probably listening to a dramatic reading of MLB.
All right. Who would you say is your favorite Brony musician?
Right now, okay, that's such a harder question because music being my favorite thing, that's all I do is listen to Brony music. So, I mean, I appreciate Mike. I really love the guy. I love his music. Yelling at Cats is a good friend. I love his music, but honestly, because of how much he's inspired me with the things he's done, I gotta say Forrest Rain.
Yeah.
He is definitely my favorite Brony musician, and
Yeah.
I have many other favorites, but Forrest Rain is just my inspiration. He's a great musician, and he needs a lot more views and respect than he gets.
Mine would have to be just right now, because I kind of, sometimes I listen to Glaze, sometimes I listen to Tomb, other guys, I just kind of who I'm in the mood for. But right now, I've been listening a lot to D Notive. I like that guy.
Yeah, actually,
is it just me or is Electro Swing best around?
yeah. I really love the new song Tomb came out with Dasha. Good Girl. Oh man, that's one lovely song that needs to be signed.
Yeah, that's a really good song. Her singing voice was amazing in that song.
Yeah, it was great. Also, the other song that I really liked was Breaking Bonds by Mando Pony, Prince Whatever, Acoustic Brony. They all jumped on that song.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Prince Whatever. I think is the one who did the screaming in that.
Yeah, he's the screamer. He's really good at it. He has great clean vocals too.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite songs that I remember is because it's kind of a joke, but it's a parody. I don't remember what it's a parody of, but it's called "Stuck Here on the Moon," and it's kind of like a 1920 sing. So it's like "Stuck Here on the Moon."
Yeah, it's the parody of Fly. I think it's "Fly Me to the Moon."
Yeah, I think it's a parody.
It's an old jazz song, and
it's really fun.
It was Lulz, I believe, covered it.
Yeah,
and it's awesome.
Yeah. Crap. Forgot what I was gonna say. Okay. Well, maybe if I ask a question, it'll come back. forgot what I was going to ask. Again. Who is your favorite pony?
You had to go there, didn't you?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll think about it.
One of my. Okay. Are we talking? Okay. I have two. There's canon characters, so basically the main six. I would probably have to say Rarity. But out of non-canon and fanon characters, I would have to say Doctor Hooves, just because I love the whole doctors and all that stuff. I love Doctor Who.
Hardcore Hooves.
So Doctor Hooves is probably my favorite kind of canon, but not really like actually Time Lord. So I'd probably have to say Rarity and Doctor Hooves.
Okay, so for the longest time, I liked Pinkie Pie. She's always been my favorite. I have a Pinkie Pie figurine.
I got him a Pinkie Pie doll for his 18th birthday.
Yeah. I've always liked Pinkie Pie. A lot of my usernames are like Pinkie Pie style on a lot of websites. And then recently, ever since the finale, I've liked Twilight. And so I have to go Twilight, favorite character, favorite tertiary character would be Luna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I prefer Luna than Celestia.
Yeah, well,
New Lunar Republic.
Hey, if you read Upheaval, you'll probably like Torado the most. they have it's Luna, Celestia, and Torado who own Equestria.
Yeah, it's a fantastic fic. If you have the time, I would easily sit down and listen to it. Although you can get lost in what's his face's voice. You can get lost in Forrest's voice.
Yeah, Forrest is a good narrator.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to believe my dad got me into Doctor Who.
Nice. That is awesome. That's a win right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually in Arizona when he got me into that.
That's awesome. He recently got me into it.
I actually just showed him the new season opener now.
See, that's one thing that you shouldn't do is because, like, if you show him, like, something, like, forward into the series, he won't understand it. That's one of those shows where you need to see, like, each episode to know what's going on.
I'm one of those people who does so much research, though, so I already knew so much about the show going into it, and I kind of understood, and he was helping me.
One of the things I dived in. The first episode I ever seen was actually part 2 of the forest where they chopped down the forest and built the library, which is an entire planet, which is a library. I jumped in at part 2. So my whole strategy with Doctor Who is just to dive in and get your head wet.
My first episode was, oh man, what was it? I think The End of the World. It's where that guy with the short blonde hair clones himself into everyone in the world. I can't remember his name.
I love that guy. What's his face? The Master. Yeah.
He's the guy who, what is it, always hears a clicking or something? A tapping?
It's the drum beat, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So I got a question. What did you guys think of the Picture Perfect Pony anime?
Oh, yeah.
The Picture Perfect anime. Oh, the song you mean?
Picture Perfect Pony.
They have an animation with it. It's like show accurate.
It is show accurate.
I don't think I've seen that yet. Did Mando Pony make a song of it?
Mando Pony made the song, and then recently the animation came out made by.
Oh, I have seen that. Yes.
Man, it's fantastically done.
It's canon. It's so good. It's canon.
What about season 3 spoilers? Have you watched those?
Me and my brother have seen the Crystal Pony song.
Oh yeah.
What about the other one, the Failure Success song?
Yep, I've heard that song, and I was surprised to see that Spike actually got a duet with Twilight in that.
Yeah, Kathy Westluck getting to sing.
It's about time.
Yep.
She actually mentioned that it was difficult for her to keep that tone and yet sing at the same time.
Yeah, I'm sure Spike has a unique voice, and it's
all
like
do.
a guy, really. I mean, she does a really good job on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like to think of the voice actor. Sometimes I just like to think the series is just there.
I'm crazy about voice actors. I mean, I know all of them, and I want to meet them so bad. Like, I mean, I could tell you what actor voices what character, and I love to see them do it and say new things. I don't know. I love voice actors.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to meet them too. It's just, you know where I come from, right?
Yeah, I totally get it. Sometimes for some people it just ruins it when you see the person who does the voice.
Yeah. Actually, I used to watch Family Guy. actually, until I'd seen them doing voice acting, and I stopped watching it for a while. So they were like in this dark, creepy room, and there was like 2 people standing there, and it just looked weird. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I watched some of the voice acting for MLP.
They're in a bright room eating cookies, jumping around happy. I mean, they got Michelle Creeber in there doing Apple Bloom. They have so much fun doing it. And it's wonderful to see.
It's the exact opposite of voice acting for Family Guy. Polar opposites.
Voice acting for My Little Pony is basically a party every day.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think we get such high quality voices? They have fun with it. Yeah. Why do you think the show's written so well? They take it seriously. Lauren Faust is not someone who's going to mess around. She wanted something that the parents could enjoy with their kids. It's the same thing she's done with all her shows. Like The Iron Giant, Foster's Home for Imaginary, all that. I mean, everybody knows this.
I miss the Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home.
I heard a rumor that it might come back.
Woo! Alright, I'm gonna give it to Static Bliss because he hasn't gotten a word in through this whole thing, so
I'm not even sure what to ask. I've just been listening.
Sorry.
Put your finger on a random point in the page and ask that question.
What if it's an already asked question?
Already asked question.
We've asked a bunch of our listed questions.
We have. Questions. Alright, well,
He just tosses the paper.
let's just pick a question out of the air. What should I ask?
Pinkie Pie figurine.
Alright.
That's a keychain.
Ooh.
I actually got home.
What?
I actually got home.
Alright, go ahead and ask and I'll think.
Are you excited to? Do you believe that Weird Al will make an appearance in season 3?
Of course.
From what he has said, it sounds like
Actually, my Weird Al Yankovic actually did a lot of voice acting for Back at the Barnyard, if anyone remembers that show, which kind of died after season 3. But he did a lot of voice acting for that show. In fact, he was even on the show.
I don't know if you've seen the interview with him where someone asked him something about the show, and they're like, well, will we be seeing you? And he's like, I guess you'll have to see. And it seems like he'll probably do a guest appearance. I'm excited. I love Weird Al.
Yeah. I never liked that show Back at the Barnyard, but I'm going to have to watch it now because it's on this station called Nicktoons all the time.
If you want quality of MLP, you're not going to get it. But it's funny. It's a good show.
It's definitely aimed towards the generation. It's definitely aimed for its target audience.
Yeah, 10, 11 maybe. But it's still funny. It's good.
I watched it just because I'm like, hey, you know what? I would rather watch this than reruns of
the thing is,
CSI.
The thing is with shows that show and with shows like that, the characters get old because they're written one way. They have one specific personality. They don't have
one
flaws. It gets really old. Every episode becomes the same after a while.
Well, one of the things with MLP is that the characters, they're not one-dimensional.
They're all realistic characters.
Yeah, okay, let's say, let's think of an episode right now. Okay, Brayburn. Okay, well, we don't have to have the main 6. We could literally just start off an episode with Brayburn and Appaloosa.
Yeah.
We could literally have an episode of Cloudsdale. We could do so many ways and so many angles. It's not one-dimensional.
Yeah, like they wrote Brayburn so well that you're like, I really like this guy. They could write a whole episode about him. They could write multiple episodes about him. We got Luna. We've seen her once or twice. They could write more episodes about her.
They could do an episode of Cloudsdale.
Anything.
They could do just the Wonderfuls. They have so many things they could build on that this show can just expand.
And I know Hasbro's a little afraid of bronies, but I think that we can keep this keep this fandom going, keep their sales up like we are, and I think the show has a lot left in it.
Yeah.
And speaking of better personalities for the characters, look at Pinkie Pie, for instance. She's always happy, and yet on the episode Party of One, she becomes depressed and crazy.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of critics have said. Each character has flaws and backgrounds that they're ashamed of. And when you have a character like that, it means they're more realistic.
Yeah. Every
they can work on their problems, they can have their friends help them with things, and it creates whole episodes.
Exactly. Because every friend has a flaw.
Yep, and it's good to see that. I hate when a character's perfect.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I've had on a different note. I've kind of funny. I've had someone ask me, "Do you like anime?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love North American anime,"
Which is basically My Little Pony.
Yeah. More questions. Do you like Silent Hill?
Nope, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is, so we're just gonna say no.
Well, every interview I ask an unrelated question that's like not related to ponies or bronies.
All right. Well, was that a series or a movie? What is that?
It is a game series and one movie. They're making a sequel to the movie, and I'm so psyched to see it that I want to see it so bad.
Okay,
Check it out.
I have a question for you.
Oh,
Master Chief or Doom Guy? Who would win in a fight?
Well, if Master Chief was able to get to have his shield, then he'd probably win. But
you torture me with this question?
but if you were if you were to take off his shield and have Doom Guy and him go at it, then it would be an epic fight to see.
we argue about this all the time. Doom Guy went through hell.
Yeah.
He beat
did.
hell.
He killed
Master
the
Chief has nothing on that shit, alright? The Doom Guy wins, hands down.
We have a demon versus a guy who beat the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Doom Guy would win all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the big gun? What's the gun called?
I don't know.
The BFG.
PFG 9000.
Effing gun.
Yep.
They're actually making a Doom 3 BFG edition.
Yeah. Buy all the.
Definitely getting that.
Yeah, it's just better graphics. They've apparently more to the storyline, more enemies. I mean, not newer enemies, but more enemies in places and stuff.
You know what was a good game, even though it's old? Half-Life.
Oh yes,
Fantastic.
I grew up on that game, and then I went to Half-Life 2, and then Half-Life 2's episodes 1 and 2. But the Half-Life for PC just kind of takes the cake on all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually the first one I played.
Oh, same here.
Yeah. Hey, PC games, you can cheat, right?
Tisk. That's not what you do, Levi. No toggle god mode for you.
I do it.
Actually, the second Half-Life I ever played was I think Blue Shift.
I haven't played in years,
Yeah,
so
I have to be honest. I've just played Half-Life 1. I have to be honest. I'm not gonna lie here.
So you haven't beaten it or anything yet?
No, I've beaten it.
Oh, okay.
He said he played it.
I think Gordon Freeman or Doom Guy.
Doom Guy.
Okay. Who? Okay, how about this? Who's a better voice actor? Master Chief or the black actor from who narrated the.
Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, who's a better voice actor?
Oh
Master
my
Chief
God.
or Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, Morgan. There's all kinds of pictures of him saying stuff like saying Morgan Freeman is God.
When I'm watching a movie, as soon as I hear him talk, I'm like, Sleepy. He's putting me to, because he has just such a great voice, like, Sleepy.
What's this?
Samuel L. Jackson on. Go the F to sleep. That's a wonderful. Oh, man, that's funny.
I have a question for you guys, actually. Have you guys cried during a My Little Pony episode? Because I have. I'm not gonna lie. During a couple episodes, I've cried.
No, I don't really get very emotional with movies and books. You've teared up?
Yeah.
I did cry at the end of season 2.
I might cry because it's over, but I'm not crying because they're loving each other.
It's funny. You know what actually really helped us with a lot of our voice acting and stuff like he's actually gonna Frost Mania is actually gonna try out for what's it called, audiobook. And one of the things that helped us was what we called a blue snowball. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's blue snowball is a microphone actually. What it is, you guys know Soul Rack, right?
Oh, that Do you know Pete Dorr? And yes, we know Solrak.
I don't think I know Pete Dorr.
But so it's actually the microphone that most Brony musicians use, Solrak, and it's a studio quality microphone. It's about $60, and that's what we're using right now. But it's literally it's what pretty much every Brony musician uses.
Pete Dorr, he was using that during a live stream on YouTube. Does it light up when you use it sometimes, like some of them do?
It's got the light on it for when it's recording right now.
Yep. I knew that seemed familiar because I saw Pete. His YouTube channel is Pete's Game Room. He is pretty much my idol when it comes to game collecting.
Yeah, and if you want to go something a little better, a Yeti, Blue Yeti is also very good.
Yeah, a little bit more expensive, but definitely better than a snowball. Yeah.
This is probably our longest interview ever, 46 minutes. So we should probably wrap it up here shortly, So just a couple more questions, then we should go. And let's not. Hopefully, this won't turn into a 20-minute conversation. But questions. Yeah. Tell us about each of your OCs.
Well, my OC, I just created him. I play hockey, and I basically love the cold. I love winter, and so I named him Frostmane, and gave him a blue mane, and his cutie mark is cross hockey sticks, and he's a Pegasus because I'm a pilot. I'm aspiring to be a pilot anyway, and I've got some flight hours, so basically it describes me. He's hockey player Pegasus. There you go.
My OC is what we call a big mother... And he's really big. He's like almost as big as Big Mac, almost as big. I'm a big guy. I weigh 280 and I'm lean as hell.
Lineman.
Yeah. I figured because I with the way my mane was, I looked awful as a unicorn. It just didn't work. So I decided, hey, Pegasus. That's what most guys I know do. So I might as well. And I always liked the lime green and black, so that's why I picked the lime green for my OC, and then black, because I didn't want to do gray like this guy over here, because he joined the gray
Pony Master race.
Yeah, the gray crap over there. So what I ended up doing was I kind of did like a green and black type of thing. I know black is kind of dark, but I figured I would rather be like a Colgate type thing, because I don't think I'm exactly Colgate.
My pony's mane, indigo, so it's a type of blue, pretty much, my pony's color.
It's always, that works.
Yeah. That's cool.
And, sorry.
Actually, my, Gork actually comes from kind of a long story, but I'll shorten it up a little bit. When I was like 6, I wrote a story, and the race of villains in the story was called Gorks. So I actually, a couple years later, I made a RuneScape account, and I'm like, actually, the hero, I wanted to name myself after the hero, which was N2O, kind of a play off of water, but then I'm like, well, that's already taken, so I just decided to go Gork. Gork was taken, so I'm like, Gork 105, that sounds cool, the 105th Gork, whatever. And then eventually I became a furry for a while. And I needed a last name, so I'm like, my persona for a while was I'm kind of done with that now. But my persona was a mongoose, and so I decided to go mongoose in German, which is Mungo. So Gork Mungo kind of came into being, kind of a long thing that way, but a little bit of history.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I used to be a furry for a while too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was, and Bronyism brought him out of it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it, but...
My persona was actually just kind of a black wolf.
Ah, that's sick. Mine was a meerkat. Big-ass meerkat.
I don't like my OC to resemble me, because I weigh probably 290, almost 300.
Yeah, I turned all of my fat into muscle with my OC.
I'm a skinny ass, so what can I say?
Lucky.
Sometimes I wish I had a little more weight on me.
Like, every time I see him, he's just sitting there eating Doritos. It's like, what?
Doritos are good.
Yeah, Doritos are fantastic.
You should try the what are they called? The Chipotle.
Sweet Chipotle.
No, they're like the bigger ones. They're, of course, the one time I don't have an empty bag.
So it's okay. I passed.
Yeah.
Like I usually have an empty bag of Doritos or chips or something, but the one time I don't.
I probably prefer Fritos over Doritos because Fritos. I mean,
You're so lame.
hey, at least I didn't say Funyuns.
Oh God.
Well, Funyuns are good.
So are pork rinds.
I swear, I can see a video of you two arguing over Doritos and Fritos.
We argue about everything, okay? We can do a 2-hour argument and...
Oh my gosh! So there was this one time we were eating lunch at a Waffle House, and my mom's sitting across from us, and we just go at it. We're like, I'm like, you could not survive without me. You would be nowhere. You wouldn't have an editing software. You wouldn't be anywhere. And be like, and then he would
Like, I created the account. I'm gonna sue you for stealing it. Like,
we just go at it
she's
all
all
the
like,
time.
stop it! We're like...
Oh yeah, we're just
So
like,
yeah, we argue all the time. But it's all good fun.
I lost my train of thought completely again. That happens to me a lot.
Sponsors.
Sponsor. Tobuscus. Sponsor.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Tobuscus, my brother. No, just kidding.
So, do you watch Toby games?
Oh yeah, that's the best.
I am completely addicted to Toby games. Like, so addicted.
Yeah. Scoot over.
Not as addicted to PewDiePie, but, you know.
Yeah, I like PewDiePie, but he uploads so many videos I can't keep up.
yeah.
It's like 3 a day.
I need to start watching his Silent Hill playthrough. In fact, you should watch that so you know what Silent Hill is.
Alright, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's funny because my friend our friend Kyle, he wanted to show me an anime, but it turns out it was 5 a.m. and I had stayed up all night. I needed to get up at 9 o'clock for a job interview, and he wanted to use that time to show me an anime. So an excellent time to show me an anime. Get up in 4 hours.
Yes, I do.
That would suck.
I like North American anime.
Okay, that's...
I used to watch a lot of anime, like Dead Man Wonderland.
This is really my first series or fandom or anything I've ever been into.
This isn't exactly my first. I used to be completely, like, very obsessed with Pokemon.
Oh, when I was little, I guess.
I liked Yu-Gi-Oh more than Pokemon, honestly.
Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't for me. I just couldn't get into the series.
I'll slap him for saying that. It's bullshit.
Alright, Why?
Well, so did Goku and Gohan.
What I thought was very surprising, the voice actor for Sweetie Belle, I can't remember her name. Her father voice acts Goku.
That's awesome.
In the old series and in the new, the Dragon Ball Z Kai.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was just so cool, and I thought so much respect for Sweetie Belle now. Like, I loved her before, but now it's just like, wow.
Yeah. I love Sweetie Belle's singing voice. It's Michelle Creeber, who also voices Apple Bloom. I just love
Yeah.
Creeber. She has a couple albums out. You can check them out. It's wonderful songs. She does a lot of stuff from like the 20s and 30s, and she has a lot of songs with Mando Pony.
Yeah, there was actually in the auction, she sold her very first album there.
That's awesome. I think she's really going places.
Oh yeah.
And the album in the auction sold for at least $300. Well, it was the very first album ever made, autographed and everything.
Wow, that is going to be worth something later on.
I mean, you can brag about it. Hey, I got the very first album ever made.
Good for you, bro. No, just, are you going to buy a drink or not?
Alright, just a couple more questions because we have gone on for 54 minutes. Or do you want to just go on to 1 hour? Do you want to just go on there?
Start wrapping things up, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Maybe one more question. Watch this. This will go into another whole conversation. Are you two like big gamers?
Oh yeah, I love gaming. I've had Steam for how long now? Every Steam sale, but I'm getting out my credit card. I have an Xbox, PS3, all the things. All the things.
I game a little. I play some Battlefield. I'm not too into it, and mostly because I need to buy a new computer and I can't play any PC games. But they're fun.
I've been a gamer since I was 2 years old.
Actually, kick my ass in any game.
And
Probably 5 or 6 I started.
So I've been gaming for 17 years.
Wow.
And my brother, I don't know how long he's been gaming.
I played a little bit when I was 8 years old.
All right, you need to talk more, actually. Take the mic.
Hogging the mic.
I'm not hogging the mic. You could have taken the mic anytime you wanted.
Yeah,
I don't earn enough money to get that kind of thing. I deliver papers.
Well, sorry. Hey.
Sweetie Belle, just go, come on!
Alright, I got nothing. I'm wiped out from work.
I'm wiped out from sitting.
Video. Yeah, that doesn't go. What?
I'm wiped out from sitting. Hey, it takes a lot. You gotta just situate yourself, like move your butt if it starts hurting. Right,
Move over.
Yeah. Yeah, this chair tipsy.
Alright, well, I think we should probably start wrapping up.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this extremely very long interview.
It was our first 1 hour video. Woo!
Yep, and it was a very enjoyable one, actually. This was fun.
Alright, I would just like to thank our subscribers. I'd like to thank you guys for interviewing us. I'd like to thank the people who watched this video.
I'd like to thank the Hub, Hasbro, Lorthost, etc., all those guys.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you. So
Also, just got to give a shout out to Forrest Rain because he really inspired me. He kind of brought me back into the Brony fandom after I kind of dropped out. Thank him for that, and Brian Cooper, one of my best friends. Yeah.
All right, well, I am Indigo Wisp.
I'm Static Blitz.
And thank you, TaskForceHorse, for starring on our interview, or on EquestriaTalk. I can't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank
Well,
you.
we're gonna go watch the new episode of Doctor Who now. So
And get some Doritos.
yeah.
And we are going to go to sleep.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Yep. Brony on, everyone. See you later. Yeah. Quadruple boar hoof. See ya.